RetroDaze.
Welcome to the last episode of October. Honestly, saying welcome doesn't feel quite right, because as much as I look forward to October and Halloween, recording this video means it's almost over. There's nothing very welcoming about that. Even so, we still have a solid 5 days of Halloween fun left, and it starts here.
We've previously explored the reasons why Universal monsters are so intricately entwined with Halloween, but what about the not-so-universal monsters? Those creatures who, though often taken for granted and sometimes even forgotten, nonetheless do a lot of the heavy lifting during October. The monsters who haunt our nightmares and creep around the darkened corridors of our minds. The maddening demons that threaten our very sanity. Yes, I think it's high time we pay our respects to these not-so-universal monsters before they decide to take umbrage at their insulting omission. While not all the monsters, abominations, and creatures on today's list will have a direct link to Halloween, our first absolutely does. We recently discussed Pumpkinhead in our October movie marathon video, suggesting the movie, though it doesn't appear to take place in October, is a perfect addition to any good Halloween marathon. Today, we're going to dig a bit deeper into Stan Winston's macabre creation to more fully appreciate this often overlooked monster. Pumpkinhead would spawn 3 sequels, 1 direct-to-video and 2 made-for-TV, and a short-lived comic series. The first movie, which was special effects artist Stan Winston's directorial debut, introduced Pumpkinhead as the demon of vengeance which could be called upon when justice was otherwise not served. Such is the case when Ed Harley's son is taken too soon in a tragic accident. Ed seeks the help of a local witch named Haggis, who directs him to a decrepit pumpkin patch where he exhumes what appears to be a shriveled corpse, but we know to be a slumbering Pumpkinhead. With the help of a little old-fashioned blood magic, the creature awakens and grows to its full height. The spectacular creature design is made only more impressive by the use of practical effects and the deft hand of actor Tom Woodruff Jr., who brought the creature to life for the screen. One design choice I thought particularly inspired was not allowing the name of the demon to dictate its precise appearance. Having created a creature with a literal pumpkin for a head would have been much less effective. Despite popular belief, it wasn't Stan Winston himself that designed Pumpkinhead, but rather a team of artists from his studio, including Alec Gillis, Shane Mahan, John Rosengrant, and Tom Woodruff Jr. Since Stan was directing the movie, said Gillis, he turned the creature work over to us. Stan said, "I'm the director on this. I'm the client. You guys are the effects guys." It was great to have Stan's encouragement to just go with it on our own. We sat down and started drawing, and then we presented those drawings to Stan, and he made suggestions. That's how the character of Pumpkinhead developed. Then I sculpted the head, and Tom and John sculpted the body.
Mr. Jack will snap your spine, cut you in half with a scaly vine.
Dad, a monster's real.
A fairy tale born from a legend. A truth more terrifying than the tale.
Say a prayer for Daddy tonight, okay?
Only one man had the courage to stand against the forces of darkness. But when a secret that lay dormant for nearly a century is accidentally unearthed, a vicious avenger is summoned to fulfill an age-old prophecy.
Send us a demon from hell.
Then I'll quick before you die, Mr. Jack will steal your eyes.
Guided by a vision, the young boy stands between good and evil. Haunted by his family's secret past, he must face and fulfill his destiny.
Only Sean can stop this monster.
Give us the boy back.
In the shadows.
Mr. Jack will...
Fear has a new soldier.
Mr. Jack will...
And terror has a new name.
Mr. Jack will steal your soul.
Jacko.
Going from a figurative Pumpkinhead to a literal one, we have Jacko from the 1995 movie of the same name. As a commenter on the YouTube page for this trailer said, "It's like Pumpkinhead, except with a real pumpkin head." And they're right on more than one count. From the trailer, you can probably tell that even the plot has some similarities, with a demon rising from the grave to enact vengeance. Both movies even have an exposition-laced rhyme for the demon. If Pumpkinhead was a low-budget movie, Jacko is a no-budget movie, and it shows. But for the seasoned horror fan looking for one last Halloween fright, the movie manages to cook up enough laughs to keep you going. Although most will see Jacko as a severe downgrade from the expertly designed Pumpkinhead, after all, this is essentially an actor dressed as a scarecrow and wearing a pumpkin mask, the costume has a kind of old-style charm that harkens back to, if not some of the Universal monsters themselves, then certainly the creatures of Roger Corman movies. Of particular note is the absurdly amazing commentary track with director Steve Latshaw and producer Fred Olen Ray, which finds them getting into several heated arguments over the quality of the movie and various directorial choices. A must-watch that can be found on YouTube.
I think you're making a mistake. I think you really want to talk to me.
Sorry, I have 3 other interviews to do before this party's over.
Yeah, but they're not working on something that'll change the world as we know it.
They say they are.
Yeah, but they're lying.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Those weird hairs that were growing out of your back, I had them analyzed. But they were definitely not human. You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh no, what's happening to me? Am I dying? I want to know what's going on.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone.
Don't go back to it.
Could be contagious.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid.
No, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please, help me.
Stepping away from the blatantly Halloween-related monsters and a bit closer to what I consider the closest thing to a modern-day Universal monster, I present to you Brundlefly from the movie The Fly. In David Cronenberg's 1986 remake of the 1958 movie of the same name, Seth Brundle, a molecular physicist, invents a teleportation device which he drunkenly uses one night with a fly in the chamber. The rest of the movie is pure Cronenbergian body horror as viewers are treated to the many stages of Seth's gruesome transformation into Brundlefly. Seth's change is also why I consider Brundlefly, or Space Bug as the crew had come to call him, to be a modern-day monster in the style of Universal. Like the Wolfman before him, Seth's incredible transformation from man to monster was a sight to behold. This process went through 7 distinct stages during the runtime of the movie, beginning with minor skin discoloration and sores, and ending with the mortally injured Brundlefly telepod fusion, initially dubbed the Brundle Booth and later Brundle Thing by the crew, as seen in the film's final moments, according to Wikipedia. Initially, the final iteration of Brundlefly was going to be a man in a rubber suit. According to the designer, Chris Wallace, when we started The Fly, I knew there wasn't really enough time to do the job the way I would have liked to. Here's a sketch I did to try and convince David Cronenberg to let me do the Space Bug as a guy in a suit, simpler and faster than several animatronic puppets. He didn't go for it, and in the end, he was absolutely right. Sure would have made things easier, though. Both Wallace and Stephen Depew, who also worked on the design, went on to win Academy Award for Best Makeup, and it's easy to see why.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait just a second there, Triggerfinger. Before you buffer past my 15-second pitch, consider expelling less energy to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate our notification bell. Your reward will be even more of me. And a brand new retro topic every Saturday, which, that's nice too, I guess.
That's the ghost of Colin Childress.
30 years ago, he butchered a woman with an axe and then set himself on fire.
It's dark, it's gloomy, it's filled with terror.
Don't even think about going down there.
So why can't people stay out of the cellar?
I love to be frightened.
If you love to be frightened, then this cellar is the place to be. terrorized, her life becomes a nightmare when she won't stay out of the basement and is snared by the evil Cellar Dweller.
The same year Child's Play came out, another of Don Mancini's scripts was produced under his pseudonym Kit Dubois. As reported by Mark Shapiro, Mancini's first draft of Cellar Dweller took 3 months to compose. The rewrite went much faster. But the scripter's goal of beating the odds and making a great movie was ultimately shot down in flames of frustration. In fact, when Cellar Dweller did finally see release, Mancini, who holds no malice toward director John Buechler, had his name removed from the credits. Why? Well, if you saw the movie, you know why, frowns the writer, whose credit reads Kit Dubois on the final film. It's not a movie I'm proud of. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that it was never conceived as being anything but a bad movie. Bad though it may be, Mancini's script, paired with John Carl Buechler's directing and some stellar over-the-top acting, made for a so bad it's good movie, which is something certain horror fans adore, myself included. Of course, we're only here for the monster anyway, so let's talk about the creature. The Cellar Dweller is an interesting mashup of various elements. It's supernatural in the sense that it is summoned from drawings in a comic book, demonic due to the pentagram carved onto its chest, and animalistic in visage. The design of this creature seems to combine an ape-like face, wolf-like ears, and a furry, bestial body. The demon is not just a mindless beast, however, and displays intelligence in addition to massive strength. Its main weakness is that any damage to the comic from which it came can hurt and even kill it, though merely redrawing the creature can summon it back from, presumably, hell?
Hellraiser, beyond any terror you have imagined. A nightmare. No. Unlike anything you have witnessed, is born. Because within these walls, the unholy is unleashed. We'll tear your soul apart.
Speaking of demons, we can't have a list of monsters without cenobites, a collective of demon-adjacent, extra-dimensional beings with human origins who were designed by a team that included Jane Wildgoose, Bob Keane, and Jeff Portis for the 1987 film Hellraiser. It's because of these human origins, having been transformed into cenobites after losing their sanity and souls to the depths of depravity, that I feel they deserve a spot on this list. Of course, I'd accept criticism that these entities perhaps don't fully fit the definition of monster, while simultaneously refuting such a notion by suggesting that they exist in a category all their own. According to Chris Vogel for Nightmare on Film Street, Jane Wildgoose described the notes she took from Barker when beginning the design process. My notes say he wanted 1. Areas of revealed flesh where some kind of torture has or is occurring, and 2. Something associated with butchery involved. And then we have here a very Clive turn of phrase I've written down, repulsive glamour. And the other notes that I made about what he wanted was that they should be magnificent super butchers. On looks alone, the cenobites are monstrous enough to justify their addition. Pinhead is perhaps the most human of the bunch, followed by the female, Chatterer, Butterball, the Engineer, and finally, the Puzzle Box Guardian, if we're only counting cenobites from the first movie. Like Pinhead, the female retains a mostly human appearance except for her chalk-white skin and bodily mutilations, most notably the vertical throat laceration which gave her the nickname Deep Throat among the Hellraiser crew. On the other hand, Chatterer, with his gruesome grin, and Butterball, with sewn eye sockets and razor teeth, retain much less of their humanity. Perhaps the most overtly monstrous of the bunch is the Engineer, who can be found stalking the Cenobite realm and looks something like an enormous and malformed human-scorpion hybrid. Finally, there's the Guardian of the Lament configuration, who is a shapeshifter and appears most often as random humans. However, by the end of the first movie, we also see its appearance change into a large, skeletal, dragon-like creature with bat-like wings, which is its true form.
Never mind, let's let this last name out of here. You hear that? There's something in there, Doc. Something shiny. It looks like a couple of emeralds.
For a final bonus pick, we have the creature from the Crate segment in 1982's Creepshow. The man-eating Arctic beast, known lovingly as Fluffy, spends its entire screen time inside the titular crate and was based on a Yeti. Fluffy was created by Tom Savini with help from Greg Nicotero, who created the latex skin using original molds from Savini. The costume included a mask, a cable control for lip and jaw movement, and tubes for air and fluid.
This is Fluffy. Sure, Fluffy is also from Creepshow. Fluffy was worn by an actor who had special lenses in his eyes. Fluffy, let's see, this operates his eyebrows.
Oh my goodness.
See? This makes him snarl. See? Like that.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
He gobbled up Adrian Barbeau in about 3 bites in Creepshow. This is a Fluffy puppet.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, see?
Hi, Fluffy. Oh my God. That's amazing.
Okay.
Although the official Universal monsters play an important role in the Halloween season, I hope today's video served as a potent reminder that even the not-so-Universal monsters of Filmland are equally imperative to a spooktacular October. While compiling our list for today's video, we ended up with over a dozen worthy monsters on the cutting room floor. So help us out. What are some of your favorite not-so-Universal monsters? You know I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell, because it really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate Yesteryear, right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.